The unsealed search warrant reveals the FBI recovered 11 sets of classified documents from the former president's Mar-a-Lago estate last week. Trump has repeatedly claimed he declassified these records before he left office in 2021. But it's still unclear as to whether that actually happened. For more on this, let's bring in Cobb. He was a legal counsel to President Donald Trump during the Russia investigation. Just before we came on the air, former President Trump posted to his social media platform a major motion pertaining to the FBI search of Mar-a-Lago will soon be filed. Based on your personal experience representing the former president, what will his legal team's legal approach be?
So that's an excellent question. There are a variety of motions that he could file at this stage of the game. In connection with the search, he could file a motion for return of property, to seek a special master to go through the alleged attorney-client privilege documents and the alleged classified documents. Now, that's not, while special masters are common in circumstances like that, and I would think the government might want to err on the side of caution here and actually have a special master, although they typically like to rely on their own taint team. This is a prosecution, an unprecedented prosecution investigation of a former president. This has never happened before. So I think we want to play it by the letter of the law.
Do you think that they launch a legal attack on the basis that they say that communication with the FBI and Justice Department had not broken down and that this was not clearly represented to the judge who signed off on the search warrant?
I think that may be a portion of their argument. I don't think that's a successful argument. I think, in fairness, they have a legitimate, albeit likely unsuccessful, attack on the breadth of the warrant. I think they also have, if in fact, the agents did run amok as their interest, the suggested interest in pushing forward the videotapes, they may have some misconduct issues that they would want to press. But I think this would likely be a standard. This would be a standard motion to the extent that Donald Trump does anything in a standard way. I think this would be more likely a seek to have items returned and to appoint a special master.
What did you mean when you just said if Donald Trump does anything in a standard way based on your experience?
Well, there's recently anyway, political element to many of the court moves. Certainly since January 6th, or actually, I'm sorry, since the election, we have seen some highly unusual court activity, much of which has only put him and some of his lawyers in hotter water. But a disciplined approach here, under the rules governing the execution of search warrants, would generally go to the areas of return of documents and perhaps a special master on the privilege issues, which would have to be a highly qualified special master, certainly in this sense, because some of the documents allegedly are marked top secret or specially compartmentalized information, and there are not a wide number of people walking around in the special master world with the clearances necessary to perform that task.
You worked directly with then-President Trump defending him in the FBI Russia case. Do you believe Trump took records from the FBI case, codenamed Crossfire Hurricane, to Mar-a-Lago?
So I've heard that. I can't imagine why he would, though, except in the following context. He is famous for collecting newspaper articles, magazine articles. There will have been certain testimony that's already public before Congress. There is the highly public report of Michael Horowitz, the Office of Inspector General at DOJ, excoriating the FBI and the Justice Department, certain Justice Department officials, but primarily FBI officials, for the misconduct in connection with the initiation of that investigation and the FISA warrants. The FISA warrants in particular, we have to keep in mind, it wasn't until the affidavits themselves were reviewed that, notwithstanding reassurance from the press that FISA warrants are the absolute top standard, and Comey's reassurance that the FBI is on its best behavior when they do such warrants, that the court found, and the FISA court later chastised DOJ, that they had omitted considerable information, misled the court in connection with Carter Page specifically,
Right.
and the initiation of the investigation, which they knew at the time had been bought and paid for by the Hillary Clinton campaign and the Democratic National Committee.
Very quickly, because we're basically out of time, based on your experience, was then President Trump respectful of classified information and sensitive to the need to protect sources and methods?
He was counseled on that very frequently. In my own experience, I never walked around the White House with classified information. I never took any into the office. To the extent we discussed it in a secure setting, and I never saw him abuse or take classified information. So I don't know beyond my own experience.
All right, Ty Cobb, thank you.
It's my pleasure. Nice to be with you, Catherine.